What's up, Gator fans? It's Christopher Hobbzilla live with the Swamp Report, coming to you today with an epic Florida Gator, Benjamin Troupe. You may know him as Ben Troupe. Say what's up, Ben. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Chris, man. It's a Gator Nation, man. I'm here. Nobody is safe. Just looking to have some fun.
All right, cool. I like that. So, what do you think about this upcoming season?
Whew. I mean, it's not gonna be easy. I'm not naive. I think while I can appreciate the optimism based off of, Coach Sumrall, which I know we'll get to, the SEC is the SEC. Florida understand that we got our work cut out for us, but I like our chances though. I mean, if you ask me who I'm rocking with, I mean, I got on orange and blue shades no matter what happened. I just got to see the product because gonna be a brand new quarterback, gonna be a brand new offensive system, gonna be a brand new defensive system. But we got the horses. Now, are they gonna let them out the stable is another thing. But we do got the personnel, I think, to go out there and compete with anybody.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Like you said, I am, kind of worried. Well, just kind of knowing of the quarterback situations, the only kind of thing that has got me a little off right now. If I knew for sure, that we had a named starter that was miles ahead of the other one, I'd feel a little bit better about it. But right now, I'm just kind of nervous to see how that plays out.
I mean, competition is good for anybody, though. I think something. Yes, we would love to be going into the spring and into the summer, into the fall. Already having our signal caller. But if you are, Dallas Wilson and DB3 and these guys coming back, you want to. If I got two guys vying to be the starter, that means the competition is going to be fierce. That means that neither one can be comfortable at practice. I want uncomfortable quarterbacks that want to perform, and that's what you get when you don't really have. Now we don't have a number one by now. The closer we get to the fall, we gonna know who the number one is gonna be. You can't go into the fall saying we gonna go, go with the hype. Then we gonna go series for series. But I like both guys, and I think the thing about the quarterback position is the coach Faulkner coming over from Georgia Tech. He was the number one and most highly sought after offensive coordinator in the country, and we got him. And that says a lot about Coach Sumrall to say it's not about getting good coaches; it's about getting the most highly coveted coaches, and he got them. And I like his enthusiasm. I like this team. Yes, 2025 did not go the way we wanted to, but showed a lot of promise, got a lot of guys coming back. And let's face it, Chris, everybody wanted to know, can Coach Summerall get Jay the ball? And he got it. And that said a lot about him because everybody wanted Jay the ball to come play for them. And he's going to be wearing orange and blue again in 2026. So, hey, man, we got some good foundational guys. Guys like Jake Slaughter moving on to the NFL is definitely going to hurt. If our offensive line can play consistent, if our defensive line can create a new line of scrimmage, if we can be aggressive on offense, we got a shot. Because I don't want to see another pass thrown horizontally. If we could just throw the ball vertically, on
Yes.
like third and two, and not throw a 20-yard pass that go 1 yard and it's a 1 yard loss. Hey, if I listen, I had to survive three offensive systems that almost killed me. Muschamp, McElwain, and freaking Coach Napier. I am still living, I think. And if I can survive that type of offensive play caller, I'm just looking forward to just anything consistent coming 2026 and moving forward.
Right. I mean, I have to agree, with everything you said there. I mean, we did survive, the all those coaches, the Billy Napier, what bothered me the most about the way he ran his offense was the way he bunched the wide receivers up like all the time, really close. And like you said, we would throw it and, gain just a few yards from it.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Napier, I mean, I don't want to give him too much slack. Being the head coach at the University of Florida is also being the play caller, that's double the pressure. I mean, obviously him being the head coach, ain't nobody gonna tell him no. But what, not to throw salt on the wound, but okay. So you moving on to another squad, right? And the first thing you do is say, I'm not gonna be called to play. So now you don't want to call plays. Now you want to get offensive coordinator. But you know what? Florida is a different monster, and when you are the head coach or the starting quarterback or a starter at Florida, you are the most famous athletes and coaches in the state. I used to say this: if DJ Lagway, even though he's no longer there, or when Felipe Franks or Kyle Trask or Rex Grossman or Chris Leak, whenever they played, no matter who was with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Miami Dolphins, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if they was walking down the street with those guys, they would ask, "Hey Rex, who's your friends?" Because they're the most famous quarterback in the state. It's the biggest brand in the state. A lot comes with it. Everybody can't handle it, Chris. And like I say, I'm just looking for a coach that can handle the pressure, players that don't feel the pressure but apply pressure, and teams that want to go out there and be consistent Saturday in and Saturday out.
Yes, I mean that's pretty much what most of Gator Nation is looking for. I've really been excited to see how it's all going to play out. There's some things that I've kind of worried about a little bit because I love seeing Sumrall on the field and everything and how energetic he is and how he's hyping the players up and got them ready to run through walls and stuff like that. But the only thing that's really bothered me was the whole bringing in Philo and it kind of just there's others that speak about this that kind of say that the quarterback is kind of more like a practice session right now that it's not actually so much of a competition that it's still Philo's job and they believe that based upon the fact that that's Buster's guy and that's who he will advocate for. So that's kind of what I've been worried about, but hearing your excitement is definitely getting me more pumped up about everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're gonna always bring in your guys. I mean, no matter when coordinators come from other schools, they're gonna try to bring guys that they built a reputation with, built a rapport with, built a relationship with. But let me say this: when I was at the University of Florida, the practice field was called the Proving Grounds. All that stuff that people say in the media, you cannot hide when you got to put when everybody's out there together. The most talented player gonna rise to the top. You're not gonna let when football is the one sport that your eyes don't lie to you. It ain't like basketball where you have a great shooter or baseball, you could be a great pitcher. In football, what I see is what's going on. Don't give me that. Yeah, he's better than that. No, he's not. Not if I'm looking right at him. And I think the thing about the quarterback position, that is the one position you can't hide. Don't give me that. Oh yeah, he's gonna play better when the lights. If you can't prove it on, if you can't prove it when nobody's watching, I'm not putting you out there when everybody's watching. I'm not gonna do that because that's the thing about bringing in your own guys is your own guys was good at the school they was at. That ain't Florida. And that's nothing against these other schools. I respect every last school. But that's all I heard when I was at Florida. Hey man, I don't care what they do at West. That ain't Florida. That ain't Florida. That ain't Florida. And it's true from when I was in school to now. So bringing in your own guys is cool. But you got to be able to explain to them other 10 guys on offense and them other 11 guys on defense and special teams why this guy is in over another guy. Don't give me that, hey man, fellas, I want us to believe in him. Nope. I don't want to believe in somebody who don't get it done Monday through Friday and you throw them in there on Saturday. We got to get past that. The best player should play, and I want the best player to play. I have nothing against anybody,
Right.
but Chris, when you watching, how many times do you say, "What are we doing? Why is he in there?" Because we can see, and that doesn't mean that we don't love the guy. Look, that could be my son. Me and my son got the same name. My son played quarterback. I love him, but if my son's stinking up a joint, I'm the one saying, "Get him out of there." And it doesn't mean that I don't love him, but I'm trying to win games, man. I ain't trying to listen. Good guys and great guys, people. Hey, what do people say? I would love for that young man to date my daughter. Yeah, well, he ain't that good of a football player, though. He's a great kid. I need him to play well. And I want him to be both great kid and play well, but you don't got to worry about that because, like I say, now that you really out there and you can see them receivers, them running backs, the O line, they're going to decide who start. Because if the wrong guy gets put in that starter, they're going to be talking to Sumrall like, hey, coach, what's up?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, I
And
mean,
that's what I know will happen. But Sumrall, I've been blessed enough to interview him on my podcast, 84 Reasons. That dude don't mince words. He ain't finna lie to you, at least from what I get from him. And he
yeah.
seems to be very relatable, but he's not doing no favoritism, man. He don't seem like the type of guy that's gonna be pressured into putting somebody in if the guy ain't ready. I don't see him doing that.
Okay, well, that definitely makes me feel a lot better about it because I don't know, man. You could say a conspiracy theorist or something like that about a few things, and just some stuff scares me. But that really makes me feel better hearing your version of it. You played for Florida. You played for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, you've been in this game. You actually know what's going to happen, and I mean, they've got the tape that won't lie, and what happens when you get into game, then it's like basically if say, Philo does, get the start for some reason by game three, they got to pull him, which was a lot of, I'm saying if he starts having, problems and things like that, a lot of problems. And, that was something a lot of people thought that, Billy Napier had basically, showed partiality to Lagway with was, that he would never sit Lagway. Do you feel that Trammell was, because I'm hearing that Trammell was injured last season, and do you think that played a role maybe in why they didn't bench Lagway at points, or what do you think about why DJ got the nod there, even though he seemed to still be a little off last season?
DJ got the nod because of what happened in 2024. I mean, he came in as a true freshman. I mean, he started every game. He started. He won. You look at what was going on against Georgia before he got hurt. I mean, ended up going 8-5 with the hardest schedule in the country, and it was a lot of hype going into 2025. Everybody can he? But here's the thing: if Trammell was hurt, DJ was definitely hurt. DJ, from the time he played in the bowl game, did not strap up again until the fall. He did not play in the spring. He did not do anything in the summer. And he finally got back to football 2 weeks before the first game. And people was like, is he? I think DJ Lagway was hurt. I'm not saying he was injured to the point that he couldn't play, but he was hurt. And he played like it. And sometimes, Chris, we don't, Billy Napier was under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, to me, I think he used DJ kind of like as a scapegoat because it's like, hey, if the young man ain't playing well and I'm keeping him in, it didn't make sense. I mean, he would now NIL plays a factor too. Now DJ Lagway was making a lot of money, a lot, and that kind of stuff plays into it because sometimes the NIL donors or dollars or whatever, they just want to see you out there. Now, to me, if DJ would have got pulled, it doesn't mean you can't bring him back, but something needed to happen. And I think it hurts the young man's mental, fortitude when you keeping him in. He's not. Think about this. We threw 5 interceptions against LSU and we lost by 10 points, which means if he just don't throw picks, we win. You threw 5 picks and you lost 20-10. Either Nussmeier, which ain't that good, which he's not, or LSU ain't that good, which they weren't, but
Right.
we still lost. And I think for DJ, he needs to have confidence. We all need to have confidence. The quarterback got to have confidence. And when he's playing like that and he's trying to say the right things, it just wasn't translated. It just wasn't. I don't know what happened between 2024 and 2025 with DJ Lagway. It's the biggest. It's supposed to make a sophomore jump, and it just didn't. I'm not putting all the blame on him, but I do think Billy Napier should have pulled him just from a psyche of the whole team because you killing the whole morale of the team. They ain't gonna say nothing to the media what the teammates gonna do? What is going on? You gonna keep putting them in there? That kills the whole, momentum of the squad. I think he should have pulled him. And I'm never in favor of guys getting benched, but sometimes you gotta bench him. Let me say this: you don't bench a player. You have to show him, dude, you ain't getting it done. And like right now, you ain't getting it done. So yeah, I think he should have benched him, but he did. I don't know why he didn't, but he didn't.
Right. Yeah. Some people say that it had, something to do with NIL contract stuff. I don't know if any of that could be true because I mean he got, pulled when he was in 2025, so it's it's kind of hard to say. It wasn't Napier that pulled him, but they did, sit him there for that little brief moment. So
I mean, we live in a different time now. When it comes, NIL does play a factor, but let's face it. Billy Napier thought that his savior was going to be DJ Lagway. Billy Napier, he's an okay coach. He's not good. He's not bad. He's just all right. He's not, But the thing is, when you get the number one player in the country at the quarterback position with what he did in Texas, Gatorade national player, you're like, oh, here we go. And then when you look at what he did in 2024, everybody was like, okay, Florida's on his way back. And then the injury started. And
Yeah.
they didn't stop. And when DJ got hurt, what was weird, the weirdest thing about 2020 going into 2025 wasn't the fact that DJ Lagway played. What was going on in the spring? If he's not going to play, why you got him throwing passes and warm ups when you know he can't do? Just he's hurt. It happens.
Right.
They was doing a bunch of weird stuff. I think Billy Napier wasn't established enough as a head coach to make certain decisions. Like when Nick Saban pulls Jalen Hurts in the national championship for Tua, only he can do that because he's Nick Saban. I don't know if Billy Napier could pull DJ. Like, because people say, of course he can. I don't know if he could because if people don't think that NIL and boosters be influencing these coaches, oh, they influence them because they said it was a report that came out. Not that I care that we didn't get him, that they were going to get rid of Napier in 2024 to get Lane Kiffin, and they blocked it. I mean,
Yes.
Scott Strickland blocked it. So it's listen. Politicians don't just they ain't just in Tallahassee. It's politics going on when it comes to college football, and we don't like it. We don't agree with it. But that's kind of what runs it. The decision makers are people. They ain't nameless, but they faceless. And if you got deep pockets, you controlling how stuff move. And to me, DJ Lagway, as long as he's at Florida, I don't think you can ever pull him. No
Yeah.
matter how he plays, because of how much money his potential was so through the roof that people kept saying he's gonna turn it over. He never turned it over, and obviously he's moved on to Baylor now. But if Billy Napier was more established as a head coach, he could have pulled him. But if the player is almost bigger than the coach, what the coach gonna do? It's like he's strapped.
That is so true. I mean, Billy was definitely, it was kind of like, I mean, people don't want to admit it. A lot of people don't want to agree with it, but, the internet's bigger than it's ever been, now. And like when Tebow was there, I would say that by the time, DJ got to Florida with the way the internet is, he was a bigger star. And that's why he had to kind of, sit things out as far as being restrained from going into classes and stuff and actually making it onto the field. And reports yesterday came out and said that he was depressed, and me and you kind of related on the whole thing of people beating him up. Honestly, if you're not right in the some maybe because I also read where he had said that he was fine physically last year, and that was recent in that same report basically from USA Today. And basically it just seems like his mind was bothering him so bad that this new move will be the right move for him because he didn't get to practice like you said in the off season whatsoever. So I just wanted to kind of clear that up. And just you see a lot of Gator Nation and different people saying certain things about him being depressed and you know not being on campus, and they're kind of trying to counter and saying that he was out at bars and stuff like this, which I'm not really buying that. I mean, he's not even 21. But you know what would you like to say to the internet that is actually out there, and the people that are kind of just bashing this young man, that is just trying to play football and came into a high pressure situation, and then now he's being labeled and said terrible things, and also being highly judged upon three passes that he made at Baylor, his first day, and people are calling them ducks left and right, and things like that.
I would say that criticism is easy. Positive feedback is hard. And what people are doing right now is they're piling on because who do I have to answer to if I'm coming at a 19, 20-year-old young man I was the most famous athlete in the state of Florida. More famous than Trevor Lawrence, more famous than Tua Tagovailoa, more famous than Baker Mayfield, right? More famous than Carson Beck, right? More famous than the little short quarterback over there at Florida State. More famous than all of them,
Yep.
right? And here's the thing: DJ Lagway is doing something that everybody complains about. He's being honest. He's saying, "Look, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just telling y'all I am 18 years old. I already got a Heisman campaign. I am the Gatorade National Player of the Year. I got a sponsorship, him and Will, Clayton and them jokers over there with Chipotle. I got Hey Dude. I got big time sponsorships,
Yeah.
and it just didn't work. And he's saying it's easy to look back on and people say, well, why was he taking online classes? What you think you're gonna do if a bunch of grown men, decision makers, telling you you should go online? You're gonna go online, even if I want to go on campus. They was trying to protect him from public scrutiny, if he's on campus, but because it didn't work out, it's easy to say, all the reports coming out saying his teammates didn't like him. There's a former teammate of mine. I'm not gonna say his name,
Okay.
but he was saying things about DJ Lagway. Let me tell you what I don't like about that. Just say I know something about DJ. Just say I just happen to be on campus and I hear some stuff. Why would I make that public? Because if I'm a former player that did anything significant, what I say is going to be magnified by a million. What Ben Troupe said, but even if it ain't true, and I think when it comes to DJ, he's just saying, listen, for every future quarterback that wants to go to Florida, it is a juggernaut. It is crazy. They tried to put him in a bubble, but it got popped. And the only reason why it got popped is because he wasn't winning. Because right? If he wins, oh man, the way they did DJ was perfect. But when he loses, he shouldn't have been off campus. He should have been on campus. He shouldn't have been on. He can't win, but I do appreciate him being honest. But DJ needs to know this: it's still a juggernaut, even if you ain't at Florida no more. He has to learn how to say, listen, my time at Florida, I did the best I could with the time I had. I wish my teammates nothing but the best, man. I wish I would have played better. But look, man, it's a great university because if I say anything that either emotionally looks like and I'm not saying he's doing this, that looks like I'm trying to give you an excuse. It's not an excuse. You know how it is, Chris, man. They're gonna chop up what you say, man. You can look at somebody say, how you doing, Chris? You can say, I'm doing all right. You see the way he said he's doing all right? They can flip that. And there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm I'm wishing that young man the best because I played tight end and I
Yes.
felt pressure.
You
I
didn't
can
just
only
play tight end.
imagine.
You didn't just play
Yeah,
tight
man.
end. You were one of the best Gator tight ends ever.
Man, listen. I appreciate your kind words, man. Here's the thing though. People talk about John Mackey Award, first team All American, first team All SEC. That all happened in 1 year. It took me 3 years at Florida to fully understand. I had the talent, I had the ability, but I had to figure out what it takes to go out there and be consistent. Listen, consistency and sustainability is the hardest abilities and things you have to do. With DJ Lagway, he don't get no time. That's what people don't get. I need you getting off the plane, coming into the facility, leading the SEC in touchdowns. That's not going to happen. I need you to be a first team because as soon as they compare him to Tebow, he was set up for failure.
Yes.
He's the greatest because, come on, you comparing him to arguably the greatest college football player ever? Who can live up to that?
Right.
And he had, even if he would have played phenomenal, he ain't Tebow. Even if he would have, the only way he could have lived up to the hype is if he's winning SEC championships, winning a national championship, being a Heisman Trophy winner or a finalist. Anyone that falls short, he all right. And you know who DJ Lagway could have been, and this is no lie. Not as far as like the touchdown. He could have been Chris Leak. Now he could have done that, but even Chris Leak don't get enough love. And Chris Leak is the all-time leading passer in Florida Gator history. Chris Leak is the reason our Tim Tebow. You think Tim Tebow could come from Jacksonville, Florida, from the bowl school and walk straight into Florida and do what he did? No, he needed a year to look at and see okay, that's how it looks. And DJ Lagway, I mean, I love Graham Mertz, but Graham Mertz showed him how to play quarterback. He didn't show him how to be a star. He was
That's
supposed to
true.
be a star. And I think that's the thing. DJ wasn't supposed to play quarterback at Florida. He was supposed to be a star that played quarterback at Florida. And now his freshman year now, it looked like, hey man, we got us a star. And reality just caught up to him in 2025. But I appreciate his honesty, his candidness. And for those fully grown men that's doing all these 275 characters coming at a young man, you need to question your own life and like, dude, why do you get so much? Why do you get so, you feel so good about bringing somebody down? The young man, look, his time in college, if it don't work out at Baylor, it will be the worst 4 years of his life athletically because Baylor is great. RG3 went there. It's one of 29 schools, however many schools they got colleges in Texas, but it ain't Florida. And I ain't mad at him. But I don't even know what city in Texas Baylor is in.
It's
Gainesville
Waco.
ain't even no oh okay, but Gainesville ain't even no metropolitan area. But it's listen, the University of Florida is the flagship university in the state of Florida. It's the biggest brand in the state of Florida. It's a top 10 brand in college, maybe a top 10 brand all time in all sports. And everybody can't handle that. I'm not saying DJ couldn't handle it. I'm just saying he showed you how much pressure comes with it.
Right. And I think if anybody would know what the pressure feels like, it would be you. And I'm going to, take your word over anybody on Facebook or X or anywhere else, that hasn't actually, put on the uniform and worn the orange and blue. And you've done that. So, your opinion means, the most to me about, the whole situation there. So I'm glad we cleared the air on that. And, it's easy, like you said, for these grown men to sit back there and, pick apart a kid like that. But, they wouldn't like it if it was their kid. And, it's something, mental health is a real thing. Men don't get, the same, basic, you know, help that they need sometimes with that they really do need. Like, he was isolated, so I think that all played into it. His headspace wasn't great. Maybe he can get to do his thing at Baylor, because I really, I mean, they got Auburn game 1, so I really expect to see him do really well, moving forward. I'm hoping to see, a high 3,000, yard season for him and keep his interceptions low, and just much love to him, and just to see him go out and do his thing. And moving on to what really matters is this upcoming season, 2026. We got, Dallas Wilson, we got, Jaden Ball, we got, Jones, we got Philo, we got all these, big names that, Philo is not really a big name, but, as far as the the talent level, it's there. He does have good footwork, but the player I'm really super excited to see play. Um, what was your size in college?
I was about I like 6'5", like I like 250, 255.
Okay, so I know you've laid eyes on Mr. Heasy Kent.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's hard not to. Yeah.
Yeah, proportionately, you can't miss him. But yeah, I just wanted to think, wanted to get your opinion, like moving forward with a lot of people. They fought me a lot online because I know, a few members of his family and things like that. And they kept wanting to debate me, saying that there's no way this man is going to play tight end, that he is going to be, an offensive lineman or something like that, and sure, they'll use him to block. I mean, you did your fair share of blocking, but I mean, it's gonna be exciting to see. And I just wanted to know what your opinion of that particular player is, since you played that position. Do you think that he can definitely utilize his size? I mean, I've heard his speed is around like a 4.7 or something like that, and he's that big.
Well, it's not like he hasn't been doing it for 4 years, right? Like, I mean, he went to Brunswick High School. I actually used to live in Brunswick, Georgia, when I was working with ESPN Radio. Obviously, I didn't know Heasy at that point. He was still like a very very young man. But I will say this: they're giving him an opportunity, so at least for them to say yes or no when it comes to him. Because here's the thing: practice, I'm going up against the same guys. I'm honing my skills. I'm going up against the best athletes in the world. But when the games matter and you go out there, can you do it consistently? Jason Peters, who was at Arkansas, is the biggest tight end I've ever seen, until Darnell Washington, for Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, that boy there, that's a lot of man coming at you. But I would say this about Ken. He's obviously an athlete. He obviously wants to play tight end, and they're going to give him a shot. But there are certain things that only the game can show you. So when the games come and he's seeing It doesn't matter how big you are if you can't get open consistently. It doesn't matter if you're a big guy and you can't, control the edge as far as like with Jaden and those guys running the rock. I love the fact that Coach Sumrall is saying, look, you want to play tight end? We're gonna give you a shot to play tight end.
Yeah.
Right? But this is what they really telling him. But we don't want you to look like a sideshow now. If you're gonna play it, you gotta play it. If you are this big, right? And you can still go out there and be effective. Because you don't got to be the best tight end in college football. You just can't be near the bottom either. I need you to be good to great. I need you to be a good tight end before you could be a great tight end. I don't need you to just play the position. We can find anybody to just stick their hands in the dirt. We want you to be a factor in the running game, in the pass game, in the box score. And if he can do that, I mean, get that man a shot. Look, Kyle Pitts, to me, is a unicorn. I ain't never seen. Now I love Brock Bowers. I mean, I don't like the school he went to, but Brock
Me
Bowers,
either.
the Kyle Pitts of the world, these dudes are so rare. Aaron Hernandez, rare.
Right. Right.
What Kent got a shot to be rare if he actually can play like that.
Yeah.
He's right now he looks very rare. Like when he runs out, it was like, is this a tight end? He's a little thicker than
Yeah.
most tight ends.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to look like a sideshow. I want you to. It's like when Calvin Johnson used to run out with Georgia Tech. They'll say that's a receiver, and they'll say watch him play though. You have to actually play how you look when you look a certain way, and that's what he's gonna have to do. You look. Darnell Washington was catching passes last year in the National Football League at 325 pounds, and people was like, "Well, why would they do that?" Well, don't let him get open, because when 325 pounds get to rolling, ain't no juke moves.
Right. That's
I'm a
a
battering
train
ram.
coming at you.
So for me, if he can be a factor and he can stay, because the main thing about playing tight end is being that Swiss Army knife. You a jack of many trades, you a master of none. But you got to be in there. I need you in there on 3rd and 1. Either catch the ball or get a good block so we can get the first down, or you just out there. If he could be a factor, man. Listen, I'm rooting for him. Obviously, I'm rooting for him. A coastal Georgia kid, I'm rooting for him. But his biggest thing is this: can your body handle the pain of carrying that much weight and running like you have to do this? You ain't no D lineman that just got to push up against other people. No, you got to run. You got to get open on that corner route. You got to get open on that end. You got to get open, on that safety, on that linebacker, on that slot corner. And if he can do it, man, ain't nobody gonna be screaming louder than me. I said, look, listen, he's not a hamburger away. He ate the whole burger, and ain't nothing wrong with it. As long as he can get it, I am rooting for him. I just think that he's going to have to be really, really good at nutrition, recovery, and taking care of his body, because your body don't hurt if you in shape, if you look the part, if you bigger than most tight ends. He's the biggest tight end in college football. It ain't even close. Hey, I need you to go. And like I say, I give Coach Sumrall a lot of credit for even giving him a shot, because most people, they would have told him, look, we're going to recruit you as this, but you're going to play that, right? No, you recruit me as tight end, I want to play tight end. Right now, they're letting him do it. And do I see him having to drop some pounds? Obviously, I do. But how many can he drop and still be a big, because he's a big kid. I mean, he's 18 years old at big
Yeah.
already. Most kids coming to college and put on 20. He can lose 20 and still be real big.
Right.
So I'm rooting for him, though. I mean, like I say, in Georgia, listen, man, we eat a lot of carbs in Georgia, man. Ain't a lot of vegans walking around Georgia, man. We eat it's dead and deep fried. And hey, I'm rooting for the young man, though. I wish I would have had a chance to meet him before he got to Florida. But I'm rooting for him. Hopefully, man, he can go, because if he's good enough and he can go out there and be a factor, he could help, not just help recruit guys that big in his position at Florida. He can help spark a lot of schools, because we a copycat league now. If somebody could do it, which I think he's a rare breed. And hey, man, listen. He's gonna be easy. He's gonna be easy to find on Saturday afternoons. Look. I said, what, they wanted a double tackle set? Nope, that's a tight end next to the tackle. So you're gonna have to deal with that. That's a lot of beef coming at you.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, if anything, I mean, we already have tight ends, that have a little seniority on him and things like that. But, it would be cool to get out, get him some game time experience his freshman year, get him some blocks in, and give him a little, swing pass or something like that. But, it's just interesting to see how they're going to utilize him. I did see that wide receiver Dallas Wilson has been cleared to play. Basically, Sumrall said that if we had a game coming up next week or whatever, he'd be practicing. What do you think about Wilson?
Freak. I mean, I'm happy we got him. Love the fact that Dan Lanning is a class act individual for letting that. I wouldn't have let that jump out of his NIL 1 second. Like, nope, you signed to go to Oregon. You go, you go. Now Dallas Wilson. I mean, him and Vernell Brown the third. Ooh, I mean, they Dallas Wilson is nasty good. Like, and he plays big. Like he like, look, man, I'm trying to run through dudes. He's a route runner, really, really good young man. I just hope that he can stay. If he can stay healthy,
Yes, that is the key.
man, the sky's the limit. Because there's nothing you could do at Florida that we haven't seen 20 times, but we want to see it again. Do you? It's like I remember when Ricky Pearsall decided to come back his senior year. He said, "Ben, I'm coming back to Florida because I want to etch my name up there with some of the greats that played at Florida, man. I want to be up there with the Riedel Anthony's and the Jaquez Greens. I know them dudes, man, and the Chris Dorings of the world and the Taylor Jacobs and the Jabbar Gaffins and the Rishe Call. So for me, Dallas Wilson has that type of ability. He just got to stay healthy because that Texas game, I said, ooh, that young man there is something serious.
Yeah, they couldn't even tackle the guy. They couldn't push him out of bounds. I mean, it was pathetic, like with the Texas secondary and everything. And that's not a not that's not a soft group, So I'm really excited to see where everything goes from there. You mentioned basically, that Dallas Wilson, would be, you got to keep him basically. What do you think about Eric Singleton coming from Auburn? Because like I really feel like he's going to have a big year. If we got a lot of receivers, but it seems like he can really move.
I mean, whenever you bring in a guy from within the SEC, he obviously been watching Florida from afar, saying, "Hey, I think I could play in a system like that. I could play in an offense like that." And what Singleton brings is competition. You always want to have the best players in your position group because anybody could be the number one guy. Right now, we got Dallas and we got VB3, we got guys, but Singleton is saying, "Look, I can play football too, right? You know I was in the SEC too, right? And I know what it takes to get open. It's one thing to get open. I know what it takes to get open consistently. I know what it takes to play on a team that's not winning and still be productive. See, it's hard to do that. It's easy to be productive on a team that's productive. It's hard to be productive on a team that's not. And he wants to be a part of a winning culture. And I I always love when you keep adding talent to your position group. I don't want to be the best player in a bad group. I want to be a great player in a great group. And that's what you're getting, which means, hey, that's what makes practice competitive. I ain't got time to be slacking. Do you know who behind me? If I come out here slacking, I'm not going to play on Saturday. I want people pushing each other, and I think we got a group that's going to push each other. And I love the fact that we don't have the same receiver over and over. We got our receiver group is like a menu. Man, what you having a minute? Give me that VB3. Let me get a little bit of that Singleton. Oh, y'all got Dallas Wilson? That's what you want. I want variety. I don't want the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, as I felt our wide receiver room was pretty good last year, but it stepped up a lot. There was injuries last year, but I really feel like this conversation is making me feel a lot better about it. I've really been having a hard time with the adjustment. Not that Billy Napier, had like I thought that he was going to be some kind of great coach. I never really thought that, but I'm just what I'm nervous about is just the turnover of the 3 to 4 years every time we sign a new coach. That's what I'm worried about. It's nothing against John. It seems to happen. But I'm hoping that he's the right guy, and you're making me feel like hey, it's definitely you've talked to him yourself, so you know that it's kind of real recognizes real. So it makes it a little easier to tell. You know, for me and to be more excited about because there was a few things that happened, but like you said, maintaining and retaining Jaden Ball was huge. What do you think his numbers would be next year? Because something that I thought was pretty interesting was you brought up Ricky Pearsall. Napier didn't let Pearsall get to 1,000 yards in receptions, the year that we played Florida State. And you could say that was Florida State not letting, Pearsall get there. But, I mean, Billy could have whipped up anything to get him those 30 yards he needed or whatever. And then we turn around, in no time with interim coaches, and we make sure that was something I pushed for online. I was like, please, coaches, make sure to get Jaden Ball. Do not do him like Ricky. Get him those 1,000 yards. And Jaden went crazy on FSU.
Yeah, he did. I don't think you have to worry about stuff like that with Coach Sumrall. This is why. Number one, he's a former player, and he understands. I am not. He told me. He said, "Ben, ain't nobody coming to see me, man. It's all about the players." And yes, I'm the head coach. They're not coming to. He said, "My wife ain't coming to see me, and I'm a husband. She's coming to see them boys with them numbers on their chest, with their names on their back." Jaden Ball, he told me, he said, the reason why I went to Jaden Ball's house with my wife, my 4 kids, my mother, and her dog is because I did not get to, he said, I didn't get to recruit him. He didn't pick me as a head coach. So him getting to sell the program to him, whole Sumrall gets it, man. He knows how rare it is to be the head coach in Florida. He knows that he's coming from the Sun Belt like Billy Napier, so people already think he ain't that good. He knows that no one cares that he went to the college football playoff with Tulane. He knows that because he says, look, you do all you do to get to a place like Florida. And it's almost, he said that everything you do is only validated if you win at Florida. It's invalidated if you can't win at Florida. They'll say, well, dude, what you did, that's cool. But football, it's like a heavyweight fight. It's not how many fights you had, it's who you fought. Who did you fight? Oh, I fought Mike Tyson. Oh, well, I fought Evander Holyfield. Not, I fought another heavyweight. Well, who was he? Florida is a heavyweight, and they fight heavyweights. They fight Auburn and Texas and Texas A&M and Georgia and LSU. These are heavyweights, and you got to knock a heavyweight out. Meaning, if we both skill for skill, we both got all the traits. Dude, it's gonna come down to who's better, who's more prepared. So I don't think you got to worry about that. He's not bringing Jaden Ball back to not give him the ball.
Right.
If Coach Faulkner, I know they're talking about going 4 wide or 5 wide, Ball say, I don't care how many receivers you got, just as long as I'm in the backfield. I don't care how many receivers you got, as long as you handle him the. If you don't get Jaden Ball the ball, you shouldn't be allowed to call plays. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you Sean McVay, Josh McDaniel. You better give him the ball. So, yeah, you won't have to worry about that. And it says a lot about Coach Sumrall to be able to get the guy that everybody's coveted. While he did give DJ Lagway a chance to speak his piece, and it just didn't work out, if he don't get Jaden Ball, it don't really matter what he say. They're going to be like, dude, and he ain't have nothing to do with Jaden Ball deciding to potentially go somewhere else. But when Jaden Ball said, I'm coming back, I said, okay, Sumrall, he might have something to him.
Yeah, you're making an extremely valid point. I got to ask you, man, because I love Steve Spurrier. What was it like being coached by Spurrier?
It was the best for this reason. Coach Spurrier had a knack for having some level of individual relationship with every single player. Now, it's not the same, but he'll do little things like this. My name is Benjamin. My family, the world calls me Ben, but my family calls me Benny. Coach Spurrier called me Benny. And what I appreciate about that was he's saying, I'm going to call you what your family call you because you're going to be a part of my family. If you leaving your family to come down here to be a part of my family, the least I can do is make you feel like family.
Right.
And it's little nuances like that. Coach Spurrier, man, he's an offensive genius. What they're doing in 2026, he was doing in the 90s. This
Yes.
up-tempo offense, you know how you when nobody's doing it and you say, I'm gonna win like this. I'm gonna spread these people out with four eyes and one receiver. What? And I'm gonna light them up. Shane Matthews, and then Danny Warfel, right? And then Rex Grossman, and then Jesse Palmer. And then I'm gonna go to South Carolina and I'm gonna have three straight 11-2 seasons.
Yeah.
And South man, Coach Spurrier to me is a rock star. I know people consider other coaches better than him. There isn't a coach in college that's better than him. Name a coach that won a Heisman, coached a Heisman. None of them. None of them can say that. I won a Heisman at Florida. I coached a Heisman at Florida. I won the first national championship at Florida. I was dominating so much in the 90s that it got boring. I won the ACC at Duke. What are y'all saying?
Right.
What are y'all saying? And I love him, man, because he's a coach's coach. As great as he wasn't too big to humble himself for the game, for the play. He made it all about the players. I know people devisers and the headsets and all that stuff. Coach Spurrier was a he was a bigger than life normal dude. He's bigger than life normal,
Yeah.
normal as they get, man. And that's what I appreciate the most about him is his feet never left the earth. As great as he is, as big in life as he is, he's a normal dude. And I think that's why he's still around doing his thing with Spurs down in Gainesville. Hey man, he got stamp. You 80 years old and you like Rocky off the movie Rocky. That's Rocky right there. So you
Right.
know what I'm saying? I love him, man. I'm blessed to have gotten coached by him. And you know, when I was at SEC Media Days one time in Hoover, Coach Spurrier was walking down Radio Road telling everybody he's not doing radio. He's like, I ain't doing no radio, fellas. Sorry, fellas. You know, I am not doing no radio. Sorry. When Tim McLean, the SID, saw me, he said, Benny, you want Coach to sit down with you? I said, he ain't doing radio. He said, he'll do it for you. And he did it for me. He sat down with me for like 10 minutes and we chopped it up in front of all these seasoned radio dudes. That's what I love about Coach Spurrier. He said, listen, I will do it for you, Benny, because we got ties. These dudes just want to talk to me. So, and I ain't even play, receiver, and I wasn't no quarterback, man. I appreciate him even giving me, little moments like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were a huge deal then. So, and I really appreciated that you went into all the detail you just did because like I said, Spurrier. Urban Meyer, that was cool. He popped up and did what he did, but I really feel like if Spurrier would have stuck with Florida, and not that going to South Carolina wasn't amazing, but I just wish he would have stayed with Florida and just kept coaching, and I think he would have beat out Bobby Bowden and everybody else that could possibly be above that because it was who actually because it was didn't Bobby Bowden get like defaulted to the all-time winningest coach
He lost. Him and Joe Paterno, they took a bunch of wins away from them. A
yeah.
bunch. I can't remember how many, but they took a bunch away from them.
Right, and I mean, like you said, Spurrier though to me that was the best coach of all time, and to win a Heisman, like he did. I mean, it's amazing. He was playing. I thought it was funny that he was the quarterback, but he didn't have enough faith in the kicker to make that field goal. So, so he went out there, and that was coaching. That was him coaching at that age. He said, look at that man. Like. Coach, I don't feel good about this. Put me in. I'm gonna kick that field goal. I know I can make it, and he drilled it. I mean, that's legendary, epic stuff, and I'm gonna miss that man when he's gone. I don't even want to go into that, but Spurrier, he just means a lot to me, and that's really cool that you actually were coached by him, and played with players like Rex Grossman and Palmer and things like that. That's pretty cool. What did you think about old Rex?
He was the greatest, man. I mean, Rex can throw that thing. I mean, Rex is a gunslinger. I mean, I know he's from Indiana. I don't know how much. I know they play basketball in Indiana, where they play football there now with Fernando Mendoza and them. But he can throw that thing, man. Rex was built to throw a football. I got to play with Rex, and I got to play with Chris Lee. Rex throw a football like Nolan Ryan. That thing coming out of there.
Yeah.
And Chris Lee got the prettiest spiral you ever
Yeah,
seen.
I
There's no
agree.
way you can drop Chris's passes. And look, man, I'm blessed in my lifetime. I got to play. To me, Rex Grossman is the biggest snub you ever gonna see in the Heisman. Sorry, Cross, whatever. You shouldn't have won. It should have been the Rex. I got a chance to play with some incredible players because of Coach Spurrier. I won an ACC championship my freshman year. His last ACC championship. I got to walk away from Florida. I mean, I got to go speak in Florida when Coach McElwain and Coach Muschamp was there. And my daughter, who was really really small at the time, we go upstairs. She said, "Daddy, that's you." I mean, they got me up there with the Gator grades. My life is a dream, and Florida is the reason why I can never replay Florida for what it's done for me. But now, man, I'm a Georgia boy, man. But I rep them boys from Gainesville till I die. I can't stand a Georgia Bulldog. I can't stand a Florida State Seminole. And don't ask me who I can't stand the most. I put them in the same soup and I throw the soup in the trash. I don't like it, but nah, man. I just look back on it, man, and I'm just happy at the fact that I was able to make an impact when I was there, and I enjoyed Spurrier, Zook, all my coaches, all my teammates, all the staff members, and equipment men, and the unsung heroes. And hey, people like yourself, Chris, make a person like myself feel like somebody because we are who we are because y'all say we are, not because we say we are. It don't go like that. I am who I am because you say I am, and if you say I'm not, I'm not. But I appreciate you saying I am.
You're a humble man, man. You're him, bro. So I just want to let you know. Um, so being from Georgia, what was it like playing against Georgia?
It, what made playing against Georgia the greatest was this. I never lost to them, and I played against Quincy Carter. I played against David Green. I played against DJ Shockley and Kendrail Bell. I played against Richard Seymour and David Pollock. So I played up against some of the. I played against Fred Gibson and Terrence Edwards. Lost. I went 4-0 against those guys, and it was special though to be voted to the Florida Georgia Game Hall of Fame. It's still the most humbling thing I've ever done. Got voted in 2016 with
Wow.
Chris Chandler and Vern Lundquist got voted in. He retired. He retired. That was his last Florida Georgia game. It's the greatest, man, because no matter what Georgia does, I'm gonna say, look, I don't know the feeling. I never lost to them. Well, then, no. Never lost to y'all. And I caught the game with a touchdown pass 2002 against Thomas Davis. That's the only game Florida Georgia played at night. They'll never play at night again because we won. Now, had they won and we want to play it, we played at night. It's usually the last Saturday in October, 3:30 on CBS. When it was at 8 o'clock, Ron Zook's first year as a head coach, he looked over there, he saw Mark Richt, and he gave Mark Richt that L. And they lost one game that year, won the ACC championship, and they couldn't go to the national championship because they lost to us.
I'm
So it's,
glad.
it's beautiful.
Sorry to interrupt, and congratulations on getting into the Hall of Fame and everything like that. I just wanted to ask, was it true that Ron Zook could bench press 400 plus?
He probably could. I mean, he probably could. I mean,
You
I'm
never
not
saw
gonna
it
lie.
though.
I mean, he probably could. We used to mess with him, man. He used to tuck his shirt, in his shorts when he working. I said, dude, you need to go to the butt store. You ain't got no butt. Where your butt at? Go to the nearest butt store
Straight
and
chest, huh?
and purchase you some butt. Because right now, somebody tell Santa you want a butt for Christmas. Because
That's
that's ridiculous.
that's funny. He needed to hit some squats. It sounds like maybe
He
maybe
was all listen, he built like a waffle cone. He all upper body. That lower body just malnutrition.
Oh man, I wish the Zucker would have, worked out. Everybody, the kids loved him, man. I mean, I remember that.
Great recruiter, great recruiter,
Yeah,
that 2006, a bunch of them guys that was making plays, they was recruited in 2003. That was my senior year. That was their freshman year.
wow. Well, um, I don't know how much time you've got, Ben, but I really appreciate you, coming on and talking ball with me. What do you think about this upcoming season? I know we don't even know who the quarterback is, or we haven't seen any looks or anything. But what do you expect in schedule wise, and what would be, a good look for basically, the first year of Sumrall finishing record?
If our defense, when I'm Coach White, can keep teams 20 points or less a game, and our offense under Coach Faulkner can score 27 to 30 some points a game. I think 8-9 wins is very very feasible, and that's regardless if we got to play Texas. That's regardless if we got to play Georgia. I think that Coach Sumrall, the one thing about him, no matter what, he's a winner. And the greatest thing he said was, "I don't have a 5-year plan. I have a right now plan. I'm gonna win right now, and we gonna hold him to it." And I like our chances, man, because you got to have a coach who tells these players, look, man, y'all gonna be a reflection of me. I'm fiery. I don't mince words, right? I don't play the radio, and I'm gonna say what I mean, and y'all got to go out there and prove it. I can't prove it. Y'all have to prove it for me. And I think they're gonna back him up, man. I think the best teams are a reflection of their coach. Look, and Coach Signetti said, "You wanna know who I am? Google me." I bet you they ain't laughing now. I bet
Right.
you they're not laughing. I think Coach Sumrall is the same way to say, "Look, yes, I came from the Sun Belt, but I made it to the college football playoff before Florida has. I can coach now.
Yeah.
Now I can." And a lot of teams get bounced in the first round. Just because I got bounced in the first round, I mean I'm not a good coach. I mean, you know how Lane Kiffin ain't as good a coach as people thought, because Ole Miss was moving on without him.
That's true.
They was moving on. So I like our chances because who we got at the helm. Every good team starts with a really, really good coach or a great coach. If the coach ain't good, the team ain't good. You notice that, right? You
Yeah.
can't take a bad coach and put him on a good team. No. Coach Spurrier, great coach. Urban Meyer, great coach. What was the results? Wins, SEC championships, national championships. So I want to know if Coach Sumrall will not skip steps. He got to be good before he can be great. Prove how good you are so we can get to the greatness. And if he can do that, which I hope he can, I mean, I'm biased. I'm a Florida. I'm biased when it comes to us, but I survived Muschamp. I survived Napier. I survived McElwain. I survived these dudes, and I just hope that Summerall is the guy, because I'm like you, Chris. We can't keep doing this every 3 years, man. We
Right.
got to we got to we got to put 4 and 5 and 6. The best teams have coaches that's either coached a long time, and Coach Signetti, or been around a long time, like Coach Kirby Smart, like Coach Dave.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the Oregon of college football. I don't want to be good, but I lose to better teams. That is Oregon. Florida is a good team that could be a great team, but they got to prove it. And
Right.
hopefully they can. Hopefully that starts this year.
Well, that's awesome, man. I just want to ask real quick, if you don't mind, if you got your social media handles that you want to throw out, you can go ahead and do that.
At Troupe Benjamin on X, at Ben Troop 84 on Instagram, and I think I got like on Facebook, I got like Troop Talk, and I think I got Ben Troop 84 on Facebook as well. But hey, man, just keep listening, keep watching. I'm gonna do my best, man, to make us proud, man. Just having fun, doing what I love with people like yourself, Chris, that I admire, and hopefully, as long as they ain't kicking me off these airways, last time I checked, they haven't. I'm gonna keep talking my trash.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I love the fact that you were super honest about everything. So maybe sometime I can come on your show. Either way, it's just more than a pleasure to have you on here today. It means the world to me, Ben, that you came on so quickly and everything. I'm glad that we got to discuss some things we were talking about and wanted to talk about finally. So,
Hey, Chris, man, look, I'm just doing my part. I can't speak for most, man. I'm just a country boy talking to another country boy.
yep.
Listen, sweet tea and shade trees for life. That's what we doing over here.
Yes, sir. Do you fish?
I need to learn how to fish better, man. I might get out there and sleep.
Well, if you
I
ever
hope I
want,
don't disturb the fish.
well, we discussed, where I stay and stuff. If you ever want to come back to this pretty blue water and we can fish, I'll show you some fishing stuff. My son can fish
All
really
right,
good.
all right. I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm hold you to that. That way I can come back up and say, "That's it, Ben. What you call?" I call a whale. What you call a brim? A catfish? Stop
yeah.
it.
I want to ask one more thing. As far as your son, you mentioned him. My son plays offensive line. He's a ninth grader. What grade is your child in?
He's a junior. He'll be a senior. He's getting ready to start his senior year. He plays quarterback.
Okay, and I do remember you saying that. Is he getting any good looks so far?
Not like he wants to, but I mean he hasn't started yet. So this is gonna be his year to start. He's gonna be like his daddy. I did a start in high school to my senior year, and We'll see. I told him, I said, look, man, I said, if it's meant to be, it will be. I said, but the only way, I said, I said, everybody else got to hope that it happen. The quarterbacks, y'all got to make it happen. All the hopes and dreams of everybody at this school is going to be resting on the arm of Benjamin Troupe.
Yeah.
That being my son, AKA BJ. So hopefully, man, he can, hopefully he can just go out there and have fun. If you ain't worried about the pressure, you have fun, you can go out there and make some things happen.
Exactly. Well, make sure to get me, when he gets to starting and everything, get me some of his highlights over. I'll make sure to share them and, put them everywhere. My son's in the same situation. It's hard to get out there and start at offensive line when you're in ninth grade, and move up to varsity and all this stuff. He gets in and does, well and stuff. And I think they're developing him. He's at a great school for it. I don't know if you're familiar with Mosley, but that's where he's at. And, they got the Mosley Dolphins. They're a really good school over here. And I won't even move. I really need to be closer to my work and everything like that, but I won't even move because I want him to stay in this school to be developed. That's how good
He'll
they
be,
are.
listen, he'll appreciate your sacrifice later. Just tell him, look, I said, look, just tell him, put your head down, man. Listen to the coaches. Don't. And like I tell my nephew, who's a freshman, well, he just finished his freshman year at Kennesaw State. Like I tell my nephew, who's about to graduate from Washburn, I'll say, look, just be a doubt annihilator. If you can eliminate doubt, boy, you can hit your head on the moon.
No, you're
Because
right.
that's what you have to deal with. It ain't the ability. Don't let doubt is like poison. There's no such thing as being poisoned a little bit. Either you the poison or you not. Don't let doubt seep in and watch out how you fly.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, I'm going to read off some of my sponsor stuff, so I'm going to let you go, Ben. But thank you so much for taking the time to, bless me with calling today. That really meant a lot to me.
Hey man, I'm just doing my part. Like I say, Chris, man, anytime you need me, man, my cell phone is the same. My Twitter handle might change because people be hacking me these days and need to get a life. But my cell phone will be the same, man. Anytime you need me.
Well, all right, man. Great talking to you. And I just want to say it with you. Go Gators, baby.
Go Gators.
Have a
Yes,
good
sir.
day. Bye.
All right.
All right, guys. So that was Ben Troupe. You gotta love it. I love Ben Troupe. He was a great tight end for Florida. Like he said, he's in the Florida Georgia Hall of Fame forever now. So, if anybody knows about putting on the orange and blue and what kind of things that come with that, I think he would. So, after saying that, he has actually pumped me up more for this upcoming season. I've had my doubts about a few things, but hearing it officially from Ben Troop himself, that makes me feel a lot better about everything. And thanks for tuning in to the Swamp Report, guys. What I do want to let you guys know about right now is Kyle Morris is the owner of Northwest Florida Pole Barns. You can reach him at 850 326 4626. That's Northwest Florida Pole Barns. He's in Panama City and all the surrounding areas. You've seen some of his work online. Go ahead and make that reservation. Book that. As far as, if you're looking to lose weight or, gain muscle, I'm sure you can tell I've lost some, weight here and things like that. You definitely want to hit up Timothy O'Connor. He's the owner of Mobile Strength Company. He'll work with you online. He'll come to your house. He is really the real deal. And you can reach him at 850 866 5158. Like I said, he's mobile and will come to you within reason. And he even offers a great deal, just $49 a session. And your first session is completely free. So I just wanted to give you guys that little bit of information there. And if you're in the Panama City area, Lynn Haven area, I just wanted to mention I've got a son and he is out to mow your lawn if you need it. So just make sure to hit us up anytime and we'll take care of that. But that's it for the Swamp Report, guys. Just wanted to let you know Ben Troop was on the show and he brought the facts. Have a good day. Go Gators.